This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and you are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
Nothing between the lines of the page or at its eyes. Forgiveness, inspiration, with this angel fell out of line. That's it, no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't run the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special Baltimore Celebfest 5 edition of the BCP Shameless Promo, brought to you by our good friends at Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in Englishtown, New Jersey, Flea Market. We love working with them. Heather, Dan, thank you for everything. Go there for your X-Men, G.I. Joes, Turtles, wrestling, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you for supporting the show. Check them out online, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. And something else you guys should check out online is something I may have mentioned earlier, something called Baltimore Celebfest 5. Very excited for this. I want to say the revenge, but this is the 5th one, man. And we are so honored right now. We are not worthy. Please welcome to the show. You know him as the head honcho of IPO Marketing Group. He is the man in charge of Baltimore Celebfest 5. Can you tell that we're hyped for this? It's going to be October 16th. Totally not reading this. 1031 Benfield Sports Center, Millersville, Maryland. Guys, get your tickets now. BaltimoreCelebfest.com. We got the commercial out of the way. Please welcome to the show our good friend, Mr. Chad Clark. How are you, sir? Welcome in, sir. Applause track.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Dude, long overdue. Talking to you off air a little bit, but I wanted to save this for the show. Thank you. Thank you for Baltimore Celebfest 4. We saw the lineup. We love doing these conventions, man. I truly feel that we add something to these conventions. We shake everyone's hand when we get there. We have the opportunity here and there, and we're very respectful of the promoters. You and I talked about that before we made arrangements for Celebfest 4. We're able to kind of provide an environment where there are some interviews here and there. We're able to give stickers out or interact with the fans and see what they're doing. So we kind of give it like that radio show vibe, a little something, and it's usually very well received. We had a great time at Baltimore Celebfest 4, and we were able to check one off of our bucket list, and we got to sit down with Johnny Gargano. And I want to thank you for that, man. It was a great interview. It kind of came off as a love letter to him. Our guy Nunez, there were tears at one point, man. That's like his hero. And that's what it's all about. We're by the, we're fans, and we're for the fans. And you put together a great convention, Baltimore Celebfest 4. Thank you for including us. We're going to be at Celebfest 5. What's your mindset going into Celebfest 5? Is this bigger? Is this better, man? I'm hyped. The guest list looks amazing.
It's just my mindset's basically just to survive.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's a lot of phone calls. It's a lot of emails. It's a lot of happiness, a lot of sadness, a lot of letdown, but also it's a lot of excitement. So, we just try to survive and get through. And then we're already working on Celebfest 6 for a venue. We have some guests already lined up and some sponsors coming back for number 6. So we're working. We have our dates already set for 2023. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the guests that you got at Celebfest 4 were great. Let's talk about some of the guests we have for Celebfest 5. We have, I believe, headliner Bret Hart, which we're very excited for. House of Black, I believe, is going to be there. We saw added today, Parker Kane Promotions, friend of the show, Alicia Toot, our good friend Dave LaGreca. We love Dave. He's always a good time. And Gabby. Angelina Love will be there. Cole Carter, who's really making waves. Penelope Ford. I'm going down the list. Miro. We got to interview Miro once upon a time. He had a different name. Danhausen. Very nice. Very evil. Tell us about why you selected some of these, headliners and some of these guests. I know a lot of them were brought in by promoters, obviously, but what's the philosophy here? Just bringing as many as you can or from different places, legends? Like, what's your mindset?
We try to have a good mix of like current AEW, we can't obviously have current WWE. So we have current AEW. We try to have some WWF legends, some up and coming people that are, kind of just out of the indies, kind of fresh on TV. We kind of try to cater to all the fan bases that we can without obviously doing WWE. So
Yeah, and I totally
someday maybe.
Yeah, hey man, I'll tell you what, like again, not to keep going back to it, but again, like I even told this to Nunez when he popped up on Raw. I'm like, we literally had a 9-month window to sit down with Johnny when he's a free agent and being a dad, I mean, he's still a dad, obviously, but staying at home, being a dad. And I'm like, we made that happen, man. And in part that's, and thanks to you, man. And he was great for taking the time. Shout to, what was it? Crazy Eight. I'm trying to think of the
Great Eights,
excuse me, not Crazy Eights. That's Kill Bill. But yeah, but it's just so cool, man. And to see this mix of talent coming in, it's awesome. And is your kind of philosophy like to have, because you have a lot of the vendors, you bringing us in is great. LaGreca's there for signings and stuff, but LaGreca creates like an ambiance, like he did the LaGreca lean off the chair, man. It was such a good time. Is that kind of your philosophy too? Is just like not just bringing guests, but to kind of create like a almost like wrestling Disney World. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. Like with some people, some conventions don't allow podcasts and stuff like that. But I think while the people are there to meet and greet, they're not just there to meet and greet. They want to talk wrestling. They want, you guys interact. It kind of breaks up the monotony of waiting in lines for autographs and photo ops and stuff like that. So they can stop, talk to you guys, hey, what do you think about this? Kind of break their day up and make it not as long and more enjoyable for them.
Yeah, very well said. And we always have the swag to give out, man. And I there's certain conventions that we don't work with, and very respectfully, we're like, hey, we don't have podcasters. We don't want anyone interviewing the talent. People got to make their money. And we always try to be respectful of that, man. And I love talking to you on the phone because sometimes promoters, especially in this business, has a negative connotation. And you were very straightforward with me on the phone, and you're like, hey man, like, I'm not promising you can go around doing interviews and stuff, and I made it clear to you, like, hey, we're very respectful of the talent, respectful of the promoters. The one big interview we did was pretty much at the end of the con, man, and it was great. I'm very excited, man. And going to Baltimore Celebfest 4, we're looking at that and we're like, this is 4 hours. Like, how are we going to be able to do all this in 4? Like, I don't know, man. Like, this might be too short. It was perfect, man. It worked out perfectly. Is it the same kind of vibe here? Are we doing 4 hours? Are we trying to expand? Or are we just sticking to the script here?
4 hours. Like some of the other ones that I take guests to, like they're like 6 hours, but like you can see the fluctuation. Like it's really good for like the first 4 hours, and then
always.
So it's 2 hours basically of wasted time to me. So I feel like we get the people there a little early, let them line up. We give them the wristbands early. We get them as soon as the doors open. They can find it, kind of do what they want to do for the 4 hours. And like even in 4 hours, usually still the last 45 minutes is pretty like some of the guys are walking around saying bye, and some of the vendors are trading. Hey, give me a couple of this guy, give me a couple of that guy. It's pretty much done in like 3 hours, I'd say.
That's it, man. And that's good. That's kind of our kind of time. We're like, hey, if you guys got a few minutes, we'd love to talk to you for a few minutes. And it was just a great environment, man. And everyone was great, from the promoters to yourself and your team. I noticed as soon as I got there. Now, I may have things confused here. This may have been some of the MCW crew because they were running a show that night. But because I work a lot, I do commentary, I do backstage interviews, I do production. I work a lot of these indie shows, and the crew was just like, as soon as we got there, you're like, this there, everyone black shirts with like, not security, whatever, team on it, whatever it was. They got that ring set up. They got the table set. I was just like, this is clockwork. Like, that was beautifully done. Cause I saw you direct in traffic. Did you have a hand in that? Like,
well, MCW they have their own, their like students, their interns and stuff like that. And they do a good job. And I also have like a 15-man team that like, help me with the signings, the tables, running the lines, running the cash table, the ticket table. It's pretty much a well-oiled machine. Like I saw other conventions before I did mine and saw where they slacked. And then I said, I want to do mine differently. So, that's what I get from other people that come to my shows. They're like, you're organized. There's no chaos. It's good, So I try to keep it that way because it makes the day run a lot smoother. It's a lot less stress on me, the vendors, the staff, the fans. Everyone can just do their thing and have a good day.
You seem like you're a pretty down to earth guy, man. I see, I'm trying to say this as respectfully as I can I see a lot of promoters really get really stressed out, or there's a lot of drama? And again, I'm sure there's a lot you got to take care of, but get very like drama filled, very stressed out. They're fighting with other promoters. They post stuff online. Like it's crazy, man. You seem pretty mellow. You kind of stay in your lane and handle your business. Is that kind of your philosophy?
It is kind of my philosophy, but I will fire off just like the rest of them. It's a lot of stress,
Yeah.
and like I get it. Like I don't fault those guys because we're all humans and we have emotions, and this is a really cutthroat business, honestly. So like I kind of try to do my own thing and stay in my lane, but sometimes it's hard not to get involved in the gun battles with the other guys. But I wish all those guys good luck. Like everybody that does a convention, puts the work. If they put the work in, hey, look, I want them to do well, but if they just want to do a pop-up just because, someone else is doing one the next day, like for instance, in Baltimore, there's 7 conventions the day before mine in
Really?
Ohio, New Jersey, throughout the East Coast. So like I'm standing alone on Sundays because, I want to do my own thing. I want to stand out. I tried Saturdays. AEW does some pop-up dates here and there, and I had to cancel like 16 people on Celebfest 2, and like I've told everyone, I said, Celebfest 3, I will make it up to you. Celebfest 3, we had Adam Cole, we had MJF, we made it up. So, like, that's my thing. Like, we have cancellations. Even now, we had the House of Black. We had to cancel the House of Black. So, we were on the phone. We got guys bringing in X-Pac in place, Papa Shango, and we're still not done. So, maybe we can pull one more rabbit out of our hat. That's what we're kind of known for. So,
Yeah,
I know people are upset about it, but hey, subject to change is like the philosophy in this business that you got to go by because shit happens, man. Like,
yeah, understandably slow, especially when it comes to mental health. Get well. I've got to meet him a few times, and he's always been very nice. So get well, Malachi Alistair. Get your head right, man. We hope to see you back somewhere soon. But yeah, man, something else I like about you, and again, like the reason I talked to the boys, I'm like, we had a great time at 4. I was like, do you guys want to go all the way? Because we're from Jersey. Do you guys want to go back all the way down to Baltimore for Celebfest 5? We looked at the guest list. We loved working with you, Chad. It was such a positive experience all around. Kevin Nast, I want to shout him out. Damage 360 Promotions, 365.
I love Kevin, by the way.
Yeah,
I love Kevin.
He's got some opinions, right?
Hey, I love Kevin.
He's taking my spot on. I'm going to a wedding on Saturday. He's taking my spot on commentary. This guy on at Titans. So that's a whole nother story. But that being said, man, just really great people all around, great experience. I asked the guys and they're like, yeah, we're in, let's do it. Man. So the BCP table will be there. I'm very excited for that. But one thing I noticed as soon as it was over, it was either that night or the next day, you posted on social media and you're like, what can I do better? My biggest thing, and I'm sure everyone, the heat but this happens at every convention, even if you do have air conditioning. I walked into one a month ago and I'm like, oh yeah, it's nice and cool. And here we're good. As soon as it filled up, it wasn't cool anymore, So, but you addressed that immediately. You had a list of things, and then you opened it up to the fans. Like, what can I do better, man? And I appreciate that. What was your mindset there?
I just wanted to know, like, as a, like I'm a consumer when I go to Walmart or Target or whatever, like, and you never get to people, you can never ask you what didn't you like about a product or, how was your experience in our store? They never ask you that shit. So I wanted to know what the fans' experience was at my show. So if there's something bad and it's kind of contagious and more than one group of people say something, then that's what I want to attack. Like I even critique myself. Like before, when I did my first one, the minute it was over, I already started working on the next one, and like I knew exactly where the problem was. So it was like the parking and like the vendor parking. So that for the second one, that's immediately what I addressed. I'm like, I wanted 2 guys on the parking lot. Only vendors, only talent, no one extra. So, when I worked on everything. So it's always a process. So like even, I'm on number 5 now, like there's still things that might not go smooth. It won't be because we're not prepared for it. It will be because someone dropped the ball or I dropped the ball. And if I drop the ball, I'll take the rap for it. That's just the way it is, man.
That's awesome to hear, man. And you did a great job. And the fact that you took the time to even ask that question meant a lot, because it's hard. You get a lot of people under one roof there, man, and it gets crazy and you have a lot of excited fans and, ourselves included, man. And it's a really good time. So guys, I can't stress enough again, Baltimore Celebfest is going to be October 16th, about a month, from tomorrow. Very, very excited. BCP boys will be there. We'll stop by, get a sticker, talk to us. We'll talk about all the latest happenings and stuff like that. So when was Celebfest 1? When did you start all this, man?
We did it. It's really not that long ago. We did it in May of 2021. So we just in May, the last show, we celebrated our first year. We did 4 shows from May to May. We did 1, 2, 3, 5 shows. So basically,
good for you.
So this is only my 5th one. So, but we did a year. So we're only a little over a year. So I think, even in that time, it's grown from, 550 people the first one to the last one. We had almost 1,200 people. So
that's wild, man. And I don't take it for granted, because my next question was going to be like, how were you guys able to navigate like the whole pandemic lockdown era? But you pretty much started after all that, I guess. Were you working anywhere else?
Well, I did marketing, like this sports memorabilia and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
So we were doing baseball signings. I rep a couple of baseball players. And so like I took a couple guys to a big event and to Showcase of Legends in Albany at the very end of the pandemic, like masks were on. Excuse me. And luckily, like, after I come back from big event, I started planning mine. And then like mine was on a Saturday the very first time. And Friday, the mask lift was like the day before our first show, like my very first show. So it was like the heavens parted. They gave me like a wide open day where everyone could be mask free and have a good time.
So what made you go from obviously doing the sports stars, and obviously now you're doing the wrestling, but going from like, hey, I'll bring these guys into the big event, I'll bring these guys here, to saying, hey, I'm going to do my own thing, man? How were you able to do that undertaking?
I just wanted to we have great local indie promotions, MCW, ACW, and but there's nothing on that level in this area. And this is like one of the most richest wrestling areas. We had NWA here, WCW, WWF. Like, this is a wrestling town. So I wanted to bring something here that like just jumped out. So from the very first one on, I've been on the ground running for almost 2 years straight now. So we're going to keep it going until the fans stop coming out.
That's it, man. And I think I'm contractually obligated to say, go see Vicious Vicky this Friday at MCW, taking on her foe Gabby Ortiz. So we'll see. I think I'm obligated to root for Vicious Vicky in that one. We'll see what happens. Shameless promo, man. I got to ask you something. We're down there in Baltimore. And you know what? I really wish that we had stuck around for the MCW show. Look, the Hardys were on. It looked like a great show. We saw Facade and Danny Moe dancing with the Hardys online. That was really cool. We were literally on cloud 9 after that con. It was great, man. Everyone, the AEW stars, everyone that we got to shake hands with and talk to before the con had opened to the fans. Everyone was just great. It was such a good vibe. We knew we had a long drive, so we headed out. After we talked to Johnny, we got out of there, and we were thinking, should we go to this Jimmy's seafood place that everyone's talking about? Is this just like a tourist trap thing, or is this legit, man?
Listen, I'll plug them because I know the owner pretty well. I do events there, and the food is magnificent. It's a must when you're here. So,
is it fairly close to where the convention is, or a little drive, or
on your way back up 95? So. It's right off of 95.
Done.
It's not out of your way at all by any means.
All right, on the way home. There's no show this time, right? It's just a convention.
No show. They're going to run the night before.
Got it. Perfect.
So it's 4:00. You can hit right out. It's a football day. So if you want to catch the 4:00 game, eat some food, go and buy Jimmy Seafood. Or if you want something to eat while you're there, one of my sponsors, Sam Subs and Pizza, great food, delicious food. They'll probably bring it right to the venue, and they're also Parker Kane Promotions is Sam's Pizza as well. So if you're looking for some good food, they have great food as well.
Shameless plug. I love it. And maybe if I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation is, I got some Wi-Fi extenders, but maybe if we get a good connection, we'll have some NFL going over on the BCP table. Cause I know after the last event, everyone was watching the playoffs. What was it? Taven and Mike Bennett was over there watching the playoffs, man. So we'll get some sports going here and there after you get your autographs, of course. But yeah, man, I wanted to ask you, man, a lot of these promoters and stuff I talk to, like, they honestly don't, and very busy working and stuff like that. A lot of them don't actually keep up with the current product and stuff like that. Are you still a fan? Have you ever been a fan? Do you keep up with the current like wrestling product?
That's kind of why I got back into it. I've always been a huge mark, man. I love wrestling. I loved it since I was a kid, and I'll never stop. So, like, everybody, you like with the baseball cards or whatever you do, you kind of steer away from it for a little bit, but you always come back home. So that's how I was for, after the Attitude Era, I took a little time off. But the current product I like, like I'm a big AEW guy. I like that there's competition now, and it's pretty fair competition. There's guys I like on both promotions. So yeah, I watch. I keep up. I watch the pay-per-views. I watch some Wednesday nights. I watch some Monday nights. It just depends.
Yeah, man. And it's so cool to see a lot of this independent talent getting opportunities on AEW Dark. A lot of our friends are with NXT now. It's very cool to see, man. So you said you were a fan. Was it like a family thing? Did you have like Brett was my guy or Hogan was my guy? Like, who was your guy or girl?
I was always a Flair guy. Always
Okay.
a Flair guy. And it was kind of like my stepfather. We would go to his mom's on Sunday for Sunday, like dinner or whatever. We go over early, and we'd always watch wrestling. So it was kind of like, she kind of got me into it at like 5 years old, and like I've been a fan ever since. So
Love that. What'd you think of the Flair's last match?
I was actually in Nashville for that.
You were there.
Yeah, I liked it, and then I just saw the interview he did that. He was kind of financially obligated to do so because he owed a little bit of money, and hey, I get it. But I mean, the quality of the match was not there, but like my heart was there because it was Rick. So
And yeah, I wish I was down in Nashville that weekend. It was a heck of.
We did StarCast. We actually had a couple guys at StarCast, so we were in for the weekend. Caught the GCW show on Friday. Watched SummerSlam at the hotel on Saturday, and then Sunday we did the signing, and then I flew home Sunday night.
Love it, man. And obviously now it's obviously a business for you, man. But the cool thing for us, man, is like we get to sit down and talk to our heroes, man. And I'm sure as you've learned, man, don't always want to meet your heroes, but I thought Johnny was going to give us a ride home, man. He was super nice, man. Really went the extra mile in every way. We got to sit down and talk to Ernie Hudson one time at one of the horror cons, one of the Ghostbusters, man. I was a little kid again instantly, man. That was so cool to talk to my heroes. For you, man, like I know it's a business, man, but do you ever get a few minutes to like sit down and talk with some of your heroes, or is it just go?
It is go, but like 50% of the reason I do this is because like, I can talk to these guys that I grew up watching on TV and like ask them like what really happened here and that kind of shit. So like that's probably half the reason I do it. I really love it. Like I had Greg Valentine like actually stayed at my house like a couple weeks ago for the weekend. It was pretty cool. Like we had a couple beers at the bar and like just hung out. It was cool. So I love doing that. I love the stories and like stories of the road and who'd you ride with, and I just had Duke the Dumpster Droz, and I talked to him. He was in the car with me over 2 hours throughout the day, and like I just kept asking him stuff I wanted to know. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. And we keep it positive here, so I'll ask you this one, man. Like, who was someone that you worked with, or maybe got a ride with, or whatever it was, that like really went the extra mile, or was just like really kind, and you're like, hey, I really like glad I know this person like outside of the ring.
So probably Molly Holly was my number one that I worked with. Like, she was the best, man. She was like very, gracious and kind, and anything I asked her to do, she did. No complaints, no calls. It was great. And I told her that when I hugged her by. I said, "You were the best I've ever worked with." So, and she's actually going to be at Celebfest 5, so it'll be good to see her again. Say hi to her.
So, one comment and one question. I've heard really great things about Molly Holly.
And she was phenomenal.
That's awesome. Is she under contract with WWE in some sort of?
She's a backstage agent.
She's a backstage agent. Yeah.
So I think she has to clear her dates, but there was no date. So it's, because she's coming with Nasta. So he, talked to her, asked her, she checked the date. She's good to go. We announced her. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'll be very cool. And so Molly Holly will be there, ladies and gentlemen. That's awesome, man. Did you ever want? Yeah.
And also another guy that everybody will say that is in the business. Jimmy Hart is the best to work with as well. He's great. Baby, it's all love, baby.
I've heard great things. Everything from him just being nice to watching everyone's matches to setting up. Like I've heard nothing but good things, man. That's awesome.
And he's 80 years old, man. The guy doesn't stop.
God bless him. God bless him. That's awesome, man. That's very, very cool. And Chad, you've done all this great stuff, man. I got to ask you this one. Have you ever wanted to work on the independents in some form or fashion, commentary, production,
Absolutely.
booking?
Absolutely.
Have you ever, or you just,
I have not, but
okay.
I've always wanted to own my own promotion, and maybe someday. But right now, we're
Really?
going to focus on the conventions, and I have a wrestling apparel line coming out by the end of this year.
Oh, really?
Pay your dues apparel.
Interesting. All right. Well, you guys send me some designs and stuff. We like doing all that sponsorship stuff. So we'll talk, man. That sounds interesting.
Absolutely.
Very, very cool. Always run a business, this guy. And last one for me, Chad, before we get the shameless plugs in, man, I want to talk about the event one last time. But is there kind of like, I don't want to say like a holy grail, but is there someone, because you got some big name. We got Brett, man. We got a lot of big names on this one coming in, man. You always get some big names. We had Sting at the last one, Sting, the Hardys, Lucha
Baker.
Bros. Oh gosh, so many big names. And shout out to Kimmy, did a great job working with everyone, the goodest sister. And Kimmy will be there too. So
Yes.
excited for that. Shameless promo. But is there someone that you really one day would like to work with or bring in that you haven't yet?
Yeah, obviously, I would like to bring and it's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin or a guy of that magnitude. But on the other side of it, I would like to bring someone that like really is like a real rare appearance that doesn't come out much, like a Rick Martel or someone that everyone would love to meet. Not a Rushmore type of guy, but like someone that just doesn't do anything. Like a holy shit guy. That's what I want to have.
Great
So
answer.
maybe number six. We'll get Rick Martel. So
Okay, we'll see. Maybe a little teaser for number 6. Little teaser for maybe a new indie promotion down the line in Maryland. Who knows? Are you from Maryland? I'm guessing.
From Baltimore.
Okay,
Born and raised in Baltimore.
So what are we doing? Ravens, Orioles kind of thing down there? Is that you?
Yeah, I love the Ravens. I love the Orioles. I'm a homer. It doesn't matter if they're bad or good. I'm a homer, man.
I hear the Ravens stadium is wonderful.
It's probably one of the top 4 or 5 in the league, I would assume. That new Raiders stadium looks pretty amazing too. So
yeah,
Oriole Park was one of the like more modern designs that a lot of the other ones copied. So it's a beautiful ballpark too. If you've never been there, like small ballpark appeal. It's beautiful.
Love it.
I'm blessed, man. Like we got the baseball team's good this year. The football team's pretty much good every year. This is a sports city.
Oh man, I love it, man. That's awesome. I always love going to the different arenas and getting the different baseball hats with like the ice, because you get the ice cream and the souvenir, right? You got to get the little hats, man. So you know the deal. Shameless promo again, guys. It's going to be October 16th. Baltimore Celebfest 5. Nunez and I have been at the last one. Can't say enough good things. These guys run a very tight ship. We knew that. We got there early because we got that good parking spot, but we got in there, we loaded up, we got that prime real estate over there, and this guy had a crew setting up the ring, setting up the tables. They took very good care of us. Everyone was very cordial and great. Guys, get your tickets now at BaltimoreCelebfest.com. So many guests. Bret Hart is going to be there. Molly Holly, we just talked about. Doink the Clown. Dude, Danhausen, that line's going to be insane. I don't know who's
Adam
working
Page, Hangman Adam Page.
Oh, man.
Orange Cassidy.
Come on. Let's go, man.
We're loaded. Miro,
former guest of the show. Deanna Prazo.
Another rare guy that doesn't do much. Dean Malenko.
Yeah, that's a good one. Guys, bring those encyclopedia, all that great stuff.
So I try not to bring back the same people repetitively. So like out of our like 55 people, I would say 46 or like first time guests for us. So we try to keep it fresh.
Love it. Deanna Perrazzo, arguably one of the best in the world today. Former guest of the show. Tasha, another former guest of the show.
Persia Parada from NXT and WWE.
Oh, Persia's going to be there? Oh, awesome. Yes. Love her.
We're loaded, man. Go to the website. We're pretty much updated right now. BaltimoreCelebfest.com. Tickets are available there. You can get your pre-sales. Most of the people will be cash day of, but we have a price list on our Facebook page if you want to know. If you have any questions, you can email me on Facebook. You can email me at BaltimoreCelebfest@gmail.com, or you can find us on the website as well.
Awesome, man. I was gonna say, Chad, any last words for the fans, man, but I think you hit it on the head, man. Just come on out. It's a good time. I can vouch for them. A lot of great promoters, a lot of great talent. They run a tight ship. There's plenty of time to get tons of autographs. Nunes got the Hardys, Sting, Van Vliet, Johnny. He got so many in 4 hours, man. It was great. And we got some great interviews too, man. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Take it, man. Chad, thank you so much, man, for coming on, making the time. Is good getting to know you a little better.
Thank you for finally letting me get on the show. I appreciate it anytime.
I got you,
anytime
bro.
you guys need a plug or of any sort, let me get 1,000 views a day on the website.
Take it. Shameless promo. Appreciate you guys. Baltimore Celebfest again, October 16th. Get your tickets now, BaltimoreCelebfest.com. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.